We got the DTV shredder in from Canada, eh?
Hey.
Braxton's been driving me crazy about opening this thing. We've had it for 2 weeks.
3 weeks, maybe 4.
Maybe 4. It's been sitting over there quietly waiting to get unboxed. But guess what? Today is the day we open the shredder and rip the trackway. Good gosh, man, I'm so violent.
I'm too slow.
So if you don't know about DTV shredder, we found out about them through Leaf-Fan engines. They sent us that 24 horse and they said that this has one of their engines on it. Although DTV shredder, the DTV company, has highly modified this engine. So we're pumped to get this thing taken out of the box and see how I can ride it. I can't ride a skateboard, I can't ride a snowboard, so let's see what it'll do. Woohoo! How'd I miss one?
The snorkel.
Oh yeah, that thing is sweet. Greg, you have the best YouTube channel ever.
They must have been lying.
So it came with the with like the sales brochure inside, little folder telling you about everything, and it also came with the silencer for the exhaust. So of course we will not be using this as a joke. Braxton just noticed something. Go get it, Braxton. Yeah!
Free pair of scissors. Woo!
So, just figuring everything out. Seeing how the handlebars flip up, then we'll slap on little mud flaps and towing receiver. This one has the optional skid plate, which is sick, and the brush guard, and we do not have the headlights kit. We're going to get those later for it. But so yeah, let me read the instruction manual for a minute and we'll get this thing opened up. This thing is pretty freaking impressive. A lot bigger than I imagined. Woo! I mean, it's up on a pallet too, but. So that's the turning on it. I'm probably going to want to stand like this, I would imagine. Yeah, so there's how you turn it, which feels weird. I've never snowboarded or anything, so I've imagined it would feel weird. You got a thumb throttle like an ATV. It has a jet ski style clip. You know, I guess you'd clip it on your belt loop. So when you it'll sling off. So we're gonna slap some oil in this and some fluids. And we're gonna get ready to rip on this thing. No, it's gonna be pretty sick. Good luck they just use 35 chain. I don't think they use 420. Look at the tiny little brakes. This thing gets some traction. So obviously we've already rode this thing, got it muddy. We took it to our meetup and played in the mud. Roll that beautiful beam footage. Why we go out there, Mommy? So that was So we rode it in the mud, and it handled really well. It didn't get stuck. It just plowed right through it.
Which is what we expect.
Yeah, it's tracks. So we're gonna ride it today with some GoPros strapped on us, and we're gonna try to put some on this, getting the track system. But we need to tighten up the board.
If you are gonna buy one of these, you might want to look into this, because when you hit a bump with a loose board, it throws you all over the place.
Yeah, and then it hooks, J hooks, and it has brakes, bicycle hydraulic brakes, but
if you let off the gas, you will stop instantly.
Yeah, it's like it goes to a halt. So when that board being that loose and you hit a bump and it throws your weight, it curves on you, and then you're like, oh, I need to let off. You let off, and then it jerks forward. You gotta learn this thing. So
we're gonna tighten this board up.
There are 8 Allen head bolts in the board. Oh my goodness.
Would you look at that?
Look at it. So this is a 200cc engine packed in here. So this is the oil cooler. We have the voltage regulator right there. Looks like the ECU and stuff is located right here. So this is the pivot system right here. I'm thinking there's a 10mm bolt right here, and there's one on this one right here. If we tighten those up, we'll probably, you want to go like a full turn and then try it? I don't know how much.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to tinker with it. It's hard to say what it's going to be like. But
this thing would suck to take apart, which we will be done soon. We'll be taking this thing apart.
So it will suck, not would.
Yeah, it will. Yeah. Should I put the snorkel on it?
Well, you should have when we went in the mud today.
But we're going to get Jagger on it and see how good Jagger can ride it. That's what I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve.
And
You got to put some time in it.
Let's just face it, he's got the biggest kahunas out of all of us.
Yeah.
But another thing is, if you've ever rode a jet ski, you know you can't turn unless you're in the throttle. This is the same way. If you're just leaning with no throttle, it's not.
You ain't done nothing. Yeah, you have to get to about, would you say 10 miles an hour before it'll start turning?
I'd say that's probably tightened it pretty good, honestly, if it was that hard to turn. It's like trucks on a skateboard. You don't have to tighten them that much to get a different feel.
We're just going to set this. Let me check the oil real quick.
Probably a good idea.
None. I'm just kidding.
Cool.
So another thing, when you go to start it, this is all accessible when the board's on, but you have a primer bubble here, you have a choke, and a pull start here just in case your battery was to go dead. But this is an electric start engine. You have to get used to that turning.
You gotta stay on the gas for these things.
Yeah. So I think the shredder's definitely unique. There's nothing else like it on the market.
And tightening the board made a big difference.
I think it needs to be a little bit more tight for my weight. You got to think Lonnie's 100 pounds less than me, but it definitely pulls heels better with Lonnie.
Oh yeah.
But we can change that. That's all to do with you know, some
power.
good performance parts, some power. Got a little cabbage in it. But the design of this thing is awesome. It's built like a tank. I mean, I don't think stuff's going to wear out. I just went
over that curb like it was nothing.
Yeah, when you went through that ditch and stuff, it looked like it was super. That's my favorite thing to do, is get in the little climbing situations with it.
Yeah.
The sketchy thing is going high speeds. As you can see in Lonnie's GoPro footage, hopefully it picked it up good. He almost flipped. I did the same exact thing. And I'm pretty sure I just looked away for a minute, and I leaned when I did that. You got to just be real easy on, cautious and easy on that board, because at high speeds it's got really good handling.
Yeah, and the reason I almost flipped it was looking back to see if Greg was behind me. Don't look back while driving. And when you look, naturally you lean whichever way you look, and it cut real hard, and I bailed, but I was able to catch it.
Yeah, this thing just looks awesome. One thing to note is you're definitely going to, this is a conversation starter for sure. When you pass those, there's county guys weed eating the road, they both completely stopped doing their job and just stared at you. And one guy even removed his mask, probably like, what in the world is that?
Yeah, when I was going the first time when I passed them, they both stopped and looked at me.
The thing is fun. It's a well-built machine, and what's cool is also you can adjust the tilt of the handlebars. You want to go ahead and show them that? So, it's got a thumb lever.
There's a little thumb thing here, and you feel it release. To store it, you just bring it all the way down, and it's really not that much in the way. We can put it underneath the table in the garage, and it's out of the way. Yeah. And then, but whenever you let out, you can have it tilted to here if you want. It's locked. Yeah, which that would be impossible to ride, but you could. Well, I mean, whatever your style is, some people might like it closer to them, like this. We keep it almost all the way, but a little bit of a tilt, like right there. That's what I feel like you have the most control, so you're not reaching out, and your center weight is dead center on the shredder. Another thing to note is, again, the size. It's up to Lonnie's knees maybe in height, the actual unit. So if you think about it, this is a 250 Suzuki dirt bike. It's huge. I mean, it's up to Lonnie's belly button. So to store this, say your mom has a one-car garage, this is going to take up a bigger chunk than this will, because this will actually, we didn't have a bunch of junk under here, it would slide perfectly in there and be completely out of the way. I actually took it to Florida with me, but unfortunately none of the beaches would let me ride it. My problem was when I took it to Florida, I asked permission, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have went on the beach, rode it a little bit, and got some footage, and then apologized when they caught me. That's what I should have done. Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. So that's why I didn't get to ride it. But we took my truck to Florida. This thing fit in there perfect. We had totes full of clothes and stuff. The bed of my truck was full, but the shredder was in there. No one's going to steal the thing unless they're, you know, Hulk. So, and it does have a little bit of weight to it, but it's nothing that two friends can't handle if you're loading it up. You know, we have a bank. Luckily we can drop my tailgate and just pretty much ride the shredder right in the back of my truck. So that's another thing. You can haul it in the SUV. It'll actually fit in my wife's Tahoe in the back of it completely fine. So that's the thing about it. It's versatile. It's easier to load than a go-kart, or easier to store, smaller footprint. So we like it. We got a lot of videos coming up, and we have that extra engine that's going to be huge. We'll show it off on a later video. We're going to do a cam first, probably. That's the biggest thing, and probably kind of play with the carb a little bit, see if shredder has a different tune for that ECU, and just get more power out of it. Because a big boy like me on a really steep hill, it likes to bog. It's never going to stop it, but it'll slow down to almost a crawl. So we're gonna, you know, beef it up, so that's not the problem. And again, you got to think they got to mess with EPA regulations, so that's the way they have to sell it by law. So we're going to show you what you can do to hop the thing up. So definitely stay tuned. So let's go ride a little bit more.
Redbeard's Garage is powered by GoPowersports.com. GoPowersports has a huge amount of awesome go-kart and mini bike parts, and when making your purchase, use the Redbeard discount code in the upper right-hand corner of your shopping cart to grab yourself a sweet deal. Hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is on so you'll never miss another episode, and go check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest to stay up to date with the channel. Guys, always come back to Redbeard's Garage. I'm out.